What's up, everyone? This is Tatum. I'm back with another episode of Off the Wall, where today I'm going to be discussing the album in my collection that just in my youth, bro, it probably just changed everything, my whole landscape of things. One of my favorite albums in general in life, period. Today, without further ado, I'm going to be discussing Lupe Fiasco's The Cool. The Cool is my favorite Lupe album for many reasons. I love Food and Liquor. That is obviously 1B to me when it comes to Lupe albums. But The Cool is just, I think he was better. He got better lyrically and skill-wise. The story intertwined within the album is so complex and so just well thought out. It's probably his biggest album. I know that I remember him saying he only has a platinum plaque for The Cool. One of his biggest singles, Superstar, and it rid the sophomore slump. Like he could have came back with a dud after Food and Liquor, which is considered all around classic by everyone. But The Cool is also a classic and considered by everyone. So I just wanted to go through a couple tracks on the album, give it its recognition, let you know why it's in my collection, and just show this album some love today. So let's get into it. Man, this album is so dope. 19 tracks. I can't believe I listened to 19 tracks. 19 tracks. Oh, before I put it back, let me show you guys this. The see-through album. Ooh, that's so cool. No pun intended, but every pun intended. Cool poster. So I'm going to put this behind me, and we're going to get into the review. The Cool came out December 18th, 2007. That was my senior year in high school. Crazy. And I remember when this album came out, and I remember Jay-Z, American Gangster came out like a month before this, and I was telling my best friend at the time, like, yo, that Cool album is better than the Jay-Z album. He's like, nah, you tripping. I'm like, no, the Cool album is crazy. And I remember going to work at that time, and all the older heads had the album and was surprised that I was a Lupe fan. Like, what the fuck? Like I said, it's his only platinum album. It's his second album. He avoided the sophomore slump. It was a quote he said that he was in a real dark place making this album. His dad passed away during one of his best friends, Stack Bundles, passed away. His manager at the time, Chili, also went away for like 44 years. What'd he say? They gave my man 44 now. If that ain't long, I would put it on my culture now. If that ain't wrong. Like, just a dope bar. And some of the best Lupe songs, I think, in his catalog, for real. So let's get into it. The album starts with the poem, continuation from Food and Liquor. They thought it was cool. And, he goes into the tribute to Chili. If we could break down those walls, set you free, we would, because we out here and we miss you. I think that's Gemini singing that. And just the whole story of just the album of just, continuing the story of The Cool on Food and Liquor with Michael Young, I think that's the name, and bringing characters like the Streets and the Game into it. And Michael Young, I guess, is the kid who from He Say, She Say, also from Food and Liquor. It's a lot of stories intertwined into this. Go Gadget flow, just fucking ridiculous. I'm from the city in the Midwest, best city in the whole wide wide world. Say now, I'm from the city in the Midwest, best city in the whole wide wide world. What's my favorite line from there? And I'm back on my grizzly like a bearskin rug or something. He said, Go Gadget, great intro to the album. It sounded energetic. It sounded like, all right, I'm back for the second go round. Let me show you, all of y'all, what I have. Let me show you what I have to prove with this one. No sophomore slump for me. That goes into The Coolest, which is probably one of the greatest Lupe Fiasco songs ever. One of my favorite lines I'm going to use for my best line, so I'll just save it. But that song, I love the peace and I love the war. I love the seas and I love the shore. No love for no beach. Baby, that's law. But she doesn't see. Therefore, I spar. I trick. I fall. Run up in raw. I love it with all my heart. With every vein, every vessel, every bullet lodge. With every flower that I ever took apart. Like, oh my God. She said that she would give me greatness, status, placement. My face would grace the cover of the magazines of the hustlers, the likes of which if I have never seen. Her eyes glow green with the logo of our dreams, the purpose of our scene, the obscene obsession for the bling. Oh my gosh. The Coolest is just ridiculous. Superstar, which was probably his biggest single at the time. Such a great record. And it's just such a great record. I think Lupe Fiasco, if he would have, one thing that I get with people don't can't, it's hard to get into Lupe nowadays because he strayed away from the commercialism I think he had during his first three records, right? So he'll have like a Sunshine or Parasokio or Superstar, and I think that's one of the things that I think I wish he would have continued more, because I think Lupe was a great songwriter, or is a great songwriter, and capable of making those crossover records, but still have his integrity. But he just doesn't do it no more at all. But Superstar, great song, great video, great lead single from the album, great everything that goes into Paris Tokyo, which is probably to me is like Sunshine Part 2. But it gives me like this old Tribe feel with it. I just love that record. Every time I put on Paris Tokyo, it just puts me in a whole different vibe. High Definition, Snoop Dogg collaboration that I just wasn't expecting. I love that. I think that's a slap. The next two songs I think are the two most probably slept on records on here. High Definition, even when he, like I said before, mentioning the they gave my man 44. Now if that ain't long, Oprah put it on my culture. Now if that ain't wrong, and he also gives a shout out to Q-Tip, because he caught that. For those who wasn't aware about that time, they used to do like a thing called VH1 Honors, and at the time they had Lupe, one of the, I guess, performers, paying homage to Tribe. And I guess Lupe probably, my memory slips on this, I think Lupe messed up a lyric or just didn't know some of the lyrics, and they got him to do a Tribe, and he was just like, he caught a lot of backlash from that, from the hip hop community, because they felt like, you are from the Tribe tree. But he was like, I didn't listen to Tribe growing up, which is kind of wrong for people to put that on him. But he also, Q-Tip said that, it was all love and passion up, and wanted people to just let that shit go. That's why he say shout out to the maker of the Vibrant. Go Watch, probably one of my favorites on the record. Just that sample, the flip, the way he rapped on the beat. That's the rules, the extensions of cool, brief study of the things. Like, God don't like ugly, ain't too happy about pretty. I am ignorance's enemy, so stay out the vicinity of. Yeah, them niggas over there. And like in the first chorus, he says like the foreign chick who don't speak no English, and then the second one, like, got one of them ghetto chicks with one of those long names. She'll fight a nigga and cusses with no shame, and a ex-man had her bagging up cocaine, but it's, yeah, she love it over here. It's just, yeah, man, that song is, the most important parts are the ones that aren't seen. Oh my gosh, fucking legend, bro. Hip hop saved my life. That record speaks to me to the heart, because it literally saved my life. So that record is just, and I think that song was made about Bump B or somebody from the South Houston area. This record was made about. I can't remember. If you remember in the comments, let me know. But Hip Hop Saved My Life was definitely about, it's either Bump B, Slim. It's one of those Texas rappers. I just cannot remember it to save my life. But that song is just, like in the second verse where he talks about when he's talking about the baby mother of the rapper, and he's saying like, she let him keep her debit card so he could put gas in it. Told her when he get on, he gonna take her to the God over your buy everything except the mannequins. You dig like, and then the end of verse where they playing this freestyle on the radio, and he's like, shit, he was only 2 weeks from going back to selling crack. Like, Intruder is great storytelling. I think it's just great storytelling, like from the aspect of the fiend to the immigrant to the rape victim. It's just so many great stories of Intruders. It's just great that he broke it down like that. Like, I remember they played that at my school one time in the morning announcements, and I was like, this shouldn't be the record that should be playing first thing in the morning for kids. Those two stories, Hip Hop Saved My Life and Intruder Alert, back to back, are just great records, and shows his range of just ability in writing. Period. Streets is on Fire, another one. My Femme Fatale, my darling angel, once called her changing the batteries in a halo receipt for wings and everything that she paid for. And it addressed to the factory where they made yours. The scientist says it's all inside my mind. The little boy said it only affects the girls. Little girl said, like, just that whole, it's only affecting the boys. The preacher man said it's the whole wide world. It's so many levels to that song that you could take it. It's just up to your interpretation. And again, shows you how great of a writer he is, and how great those hooks were, and how great the production was just to carry the story along. Little Weapon is a great story as well, about continuation to it was one of his old mixtapes. Was it called Kids with Guns? Kids with Guns? I think it was something like that. I haven't heard that record in so long. I'm sorry. It's just like, but Bishop G verse on there where he's talking about the video game and controller. Gotta Eat. That's probably the worst song on here. I remember it was an interview he did on Clubhouse a couple months ago when he was saying like he was going for his best 50 Cent impression for the hook. Shit get greasy. Like when he said, I was like, yeah, I can hear that. I can hear what you were going for in that. Gotta Eat's dope. Dumb It Down is fucking one of those records. He told a story about was it on a different beat or something like that, and they wanted him to rewrite it, but he didn't rewrite anything, but just changed the hook. The song was about like some space stuff or something like that, some out of this world kind of stuff. And they was like, nah, you need to dumb it down pretty much. And he's like, okay. So he went in there and just changed the hook to that, and just to fuck you to the record company. And just how free that verse is. One of my favorite lines is like, even Scuba Steve can find it hard to breathe around these leaves. That means I'm eyeless. That means my ears resides with my. That means my eyes resides where my ears is, which means I'm blinded, but I'ma find it. I can feel its nearness, but I'm a veer, so I don't come near like a chicken or a deer. But I remember I'm not a listener or a seer, so my windshield smear. Here, you steer. I really shouldn't be behind this. Clearly, cause my blindness is windshield, is minstrel. The whole grill is roadkill, so trill and so sincere. Yeah, I'm both them here. I was like, oh my gosh. It's one of the greatest fucking. He probably doesn't even care about the record. Hello, Goodbye. It's a great record. I think Lupe always wanted to touch into the rock aspect. If you haven't heard of Japanese Cartoon, it was like a Lupe rock group. I think the EP is still out on the internet somewhere. You can find it if you haven't. I feel like that was him edging into that category, but I don't think his record company wanted him to do that at all. I don't think Atlantic has any rock acts, to be truthfully honest with you. The Die, pretty much the end of it, where they come and kill him, and it's like and they playing the song The Cool in it. It's just a great, what does he say? And if somebody do kill you in the next few minutes, just remember, my nigga, there's a heaven for a G. And then he get out the car and nigga come up and kill him. That's a great way to end it. Then he goes into Put You on a Game, which is a great record. You could watch on TV how they should properly depict you. The rivers shall flow with liquor. Quench your thirst on my elixirs. I am the safe haven for the rebel, runaway and the resistor, the trusted misleader, the number one defender. And from a throne, from a bones I rule. These fools are my fuel, so I make them cool, baptize them in the water out of Scarface pool, and feed them from the table that held the Corleone's food. If you die, tell them that you play my game. I hope your butt hoes become mouths to say my name, cause I'm the pow. Oh, gosh. Great, one of the greatest. This album is just ridiculous. That goes into Fighters, which is kind of winding down. And even on the Fighters, he says, we only got one more to go, LUPN. I only think he wanted to do 3 albums at the time, but that got changed to Lasers and things of that nature. Go Baby, bonus track. And that pretty much wraps it up. Let me get into my best songs. Best songs, I'm going to go with The Coolest, Go Watch, and Hip Hop Saved My Life. Worst song, I'm going to go with Gotta Eat. Best line, from The Cool, he says, and if the rain stops and everything dries, she would cry just so I could drink the tears from her eyes. She teach me how to fly, even cushion my fall if my engines ever stall and I plummet from the sky. But she would keep me high, and if I ever die, she would commission monuments on her bosom to him. Or maybe she retire as well, a match made in heaven, set the fires in hell, and I'll be the coolest nigga. What? Let's wrap this shit up.
Let's peruse the essentials of cool, a brief study of the thing.
The Cool, like I said before, is my favorite Lupe Fiasco album. I think it's his best album, even though it was made in a dark place and it has this dark, eerie vibe about it. It's probably why I like it as well. But I think it holds some of his best songs he has, some of his best just storytelling to me. I think every song is a story in itself, and it still wasn't overbearing. It wasn't like preaching knowledge or anything like that. What I think a lot of people straight left from Lupe now is that, sometimes it's just too over your head. Everybody just don't want to sit there and try to decipher shit all the time like that. But this one was just like, I get it, everything he's saying. I love the beats, I love the rhymes, I love everything about this album. I love the cover. It's just a great album, man. I think if you haven't listened to The Cool, you should go check that shit out immediately, because it's just a great body of work, And I'm glad I could sit here and share with you and just fan out for a minute, just talking about some of my favorite songs and some of my favorite lyrics from it. And hopefully, if you're a Cool fan, or that's funny, if you're a Cool fan, Lupe Fiasco fan, you're doing the same thing as I'm saying these lyrics and going over these records. You're like, yeah, I remember this and blah, blah, blah. So that's all I can ask for. Remember though, leave your comments below, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm Tatum. It's time to put this record back on my wall.